Paddy Pimblett, Jared Gordon, co-main event. Definitely not an exciting fight. I don't know what the hell Paddy Pimblett was talking about when he got on the mic talking about fight of the night, fight of the night. Joe Rogan did not laugh at his joke. Hey, you're going to pay me for this interview, Joe. Didn't laugh, didn't smirk, didn't smile. Like, I got the homie B here with me.
Who else thought he won? Any idea?
There's a lot of people. If you like kind of look over fellow fighters on Twitter, Dominic Cruz said he thought it was a terrible one. People called it embarrassing.
I was sitting next to Dominic Cruz before, and we spoke about it, and I said to him, control time means nothing. Damage. Look at my face, look at Jared's. I don't care what anyone says, lad. When you look back in the history books, I've got the little green marker next to my name with a W, so everyone else can suck me arsehole.
Thank you.
Bro, Paddy Pimblett took some hard strikes. He backs straight up. He head straight up in the air. Like, what's your biggest takeaway from this guy who claims he's going to be the new face of the UFC, who claims he's taking over, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett? And I got the receipts. I've been on this guy since way years ago, like back when he was doing his thing across the pond. It's irrelevant. This guy really showed me personally that he's still got a long way to go. Go ahead, B. What's your takeaway from the co-main event?
He's a Conor McGregor wannabe. He's even still in his own lines at the presser. It was just cringe. And there's a difference. It's like if you go in there, and that's the thing, when you talk so much shit and then you go in there and you get exposed, and you clearly didn't win. You clearly didn't win the fight. It's just like, and then you do the post. You got to be humble in that post presser fight. I feel like a little bit. Conor, hey, you can say what you want about the man. In defeat, he is still a classy guy, man, and he gives it up. It is what it is. Paddy Pimblett, man, I'm not sold on him. I agree with you on it. I definitely think he got exposed in this fight, and he's going to get probably knocked out if they put him against the top 5 or even top 10.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is that, remember when he had that dust up with Ilia Topuria, and fans were clamoring for them to butt heads? I mean, even Ilia Topuria was clamoring to butt heads. But at the post-fight press conference, after Ilia did what he did to Bryce Mitchell, Dana White didn't want to hear any talks about him potentially fighting Paddy Pimblett. And when they asked Paddy Pimblett about that fight, he said, "Oh, he just beat a top 10 guy. He's crazy. I wouldn't be trying to fight me. I'd be trying to fight a top 5 guy. What the hell?" Like, yeah, you don't want none of that smoke. You don't want none of that smoke, bro. Like, none.
You and Ilya have had a bit of needle this week, and he said earlier in this room that the judges gave you a Christmas gift with the decision.
Yeah.
Have you got a response to that?
No. Hand sanitizer, boy, can keep using my name for some publicity as he wants.
Is the best way for this war of words with him to be buried with a fight between you both in the future at some point?
It could happen. You know what I mean? He looked good tonight. Give him his due. He looked good tonight, he did. Bryce did rock him, though, in the second round. And I am a lot bigger than both of them. You know what I mean? So, that could happen in the future, but as I say, I don't know when I'm going to be fighting now. I've got to get this ankle looked at. And if I was him, like, what? He's in the top 10 in the featherweight division now, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's just beat number 9.
Yeah.
That just shows how I live in his head rent-free. You know what I mean? He's still talking about me, even though he's in the top 10 in featherweight. If I was him, I'd be asking for number 5 or something. But he's asking for the baddie because he knows who the fucking boy is.
And like you said, like, Gordon won this fight. Gordon won this fight. Paddy Pimblett's like, well, look at my face and look at his. I'll tell you what. Look at Joe Rogan's face after they called out your name and said you won the fight. Clip. Anyways, all I'm saying is everybody was calling it a robbery. This is my stance on this, B. This is my stance. Okay. You take Jared Gordon and you take Paddy Pimblett, all right? We know we saw the fight. We know what Paddy did in the fight. We saw the fight. We know what Jared did in the fight. So just switch him. Paddy did what Jared did now, and Jared did what Paddy did. Paddy still gets his hand fucking raised, bro. Like, that's the crazy thing about it. Like, at the end of the day, Paddy Pimblett won because he's Paddy Pimblett. Like, tell me I'm wrong, bro. Tell me if Paddy Pimblett did to Jared Gordon what Jared Gordon did to Paddy Pimblett, that he wouldn't have got his hand raised. Tell me.
That's the thing. He's more marketable than Ankalaev. That's why Dana White's reaction to Ankalaev is what it is. And to Paddy Pimblett, he was, when they ask him about that fight, it's all about, oh, Jared Gordon fought a terrible third round. He fought a terrible fight, this and that. So you already see,
They're controlling the narrative.
Money off of.
They're controlling the
They
narrative.
control the narrative. That's right. And they just want to make sure they can make the most money off who they can make money off of.
I mean, right. Like, obviously, Dana's going to have Paddy's back. He just went on his little podcast, you know what I mean? And that's a whole nother story that we're not going to get in. Well, I guess we can get into it a little bit, but let's stick on this fight for the time being. Yeah, dude, like, of course you're going to go to bat for this guy at the press conference and say, oh, he won the fight. And do not. I know Paddy was at the press conference saying that, oh, he injured his leg and he couldn't move like he wanted to move. I don't want to hear anybody comparing this fight to Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. Why? Because for one, it was Max Holloway, and two, it was obvious that Conor won the fight. That's all I'm going to say. So I don't want to hear nobody comparing this to that performance, because this is day and night. Well, not trying to hear shit like that. Go ahead.
Conor's fourth performance in the UFC was bouncing Dustin Poirier's head off the canvas.
That he did.
That's the contrast we're talking about.
That he did, and again, look at the and also the contrast is, yeah, like you said, look who he's fighting, look who Paddy's fighting. Like, okay, I respect Jared Gordon, and I respect the fact that Jared Gordon won the fight, but they didn't raise his hand, and the president of the company pretty much shit on him afterwards for promotional purposes.